It's so funny because I'm putting myself in her shoes, and no matter how you say it, it's going to be awkward. Hi everyone, Jennifer here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some top etiquette posts on Reddit. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. My name is Jennifer and I am the author of the Madame Chic series. My third book in the series, Polish Your Poise with Madame Chic, is a book that largely focuses on etiquette. And I also have a new book coming out in the fall called Connoisseur Kids, which is an etiquette book for parents and their children. So I love the subject of etiquette. I have many etiquette videos here on YouTube, and I will leave a playlist down for you below. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go on Reddit and look at some of their top etiquette posts and discuss them today with you. Okay, grab a cup of coffee or tea. I am drinking coffee out of my Daily Connoisseur mug, and we are going to get right into this. Okay, so first of all, what is Reddit? Because I actually had always heard of Reddit, but I never tried it, I never went on it, and so I didn't really know what it was. So I'll read the official definition for you. Reddit is a social news aggregation, web content rating, and discussion website. Registered members submit content to the site, such as links, text, posts, and images, which are then voted up or down by other members. The way I would describe it is it's kind of like Facebook for the public. It's not your friends, it's just like the whole world. Some posts go viral, you can up or down vote posts. And it really is a jungle on Reddit. I mean, there are so many subreddits and little categories that people post on. And Reddit can tend to be a bit crass, you know? There's just a lot of undesirable things to look at as well. I find a lot of swearing, a lot of that type of thing. But I was pleasantly surprised when I went on the etiquette subreddit that the posts were just genuine etiquette questions and nothing tawdry or anything like that. So I chose a few of them, and I thought it would be fun to go over these questions because I normally ask you for your questions, and this time we're just going to look at what other people are interested in. Okay, let's look at the first one here. It says, my realtor property manager got me a $100 gift card to a local restaurant for Christmas, but I only got him an assortment of chocolate that was worth about $15. What should I do? Last year, my realtor property manager got me a bucket of peanuts for Christmas, and I got him an assortment of candles, so our gifts last year were pretty much even. Over the past year, I have bought several properties with him as my buyer's agent, and this year he got me a $100 gift card to a local restaurant. He mentioned he wanted to thank me for my business over the last year. I'm really happy with it, but I wasn't expecting it. My gift to him this year is still on the level of my gift to him last year. Should I add something else to my gift to him? If you were the realtor who had someone buy 4 properties with you over a year and they only got you a chocolate assortment and you got them a $100 gift card, would you think their gift was stingy, or would you expect a bit of imbalance since they're the customer? Okay. I thought that this was a great question because this is something that has happened to me in my life, and I'm sure it's happened to you, where you exchange gifts and the value of the gift that you exchange is widely different than what you received from the other person. And I just remember when I was really young, I just graduated from high school. One of my best friends, I gave her a Christmas gift, and it was just on par with what we had always given each other, just kind of an inexpensive gift. And I think it was just like a spray from Bath and Body Works or something. And then she ended up giving me an expensive present. And I remember at that young age, I felt really bad about it. And I thought, oh, should I have given her something nicer? You know what I mean? So I think that this is a problem that happens with a lot of people. You just want to equally give. But my advice to this person is that no, he does not, or she, I'm not sure who this is, if it's a man or a woman, but this person does not need to boost their gift to match that of what the realtor gave to them. My take on it is that this is a business relationship, and it sounds like this person has brought a lot of business to the realtor, and the realtor is just reaching out to say thank you with a very generous gift. But this person does not need to match that gift. And I'm sure that the realtor just appreciates the business and the referrals, and that would be my take on it. I read in the comment section, and I think a lot of people agreed with that as well. So this person said, I would be happy that you are a repeat client. Who cares about candy versus gift cards? Someone else wrote, your referrals and business are the best gift that you can give. I totally agree with that. And someone said this, referrals, business, and maybe a review. That would be a great thing to do. So to give the chocolates that you bought and then also give a review and review them online. That would be great. Someone else said, you're the client, he isn't expecting anything. And another person wrote, you're getting him paid. The $100 gift card can be interpreted as a rebate. Be guilt-free and have him enjoy the chocolates. If you still feel bad, dine together on that card. That's another good suggestion. I really love reading other people's takes on this and other people's suggestions as well. So what do you think? Have you had this experience in your life where you have unequally yoked presents? I guess that's one way to say it, where you give somebody something that's either really generous or, you know, more on the budget side, and you receive the opposite from them. How did it make you feel? How did you handle it? But I would say that you should never feel bad about a gift that you give somebody else, because hopefully we are all sticking within our budget and doing what's right for us. A lot of times I give homemade presents because, you know, during the holiday season, you are giving so many presents away. It gets really expensive, and you shouldn't try to impress other people by matching their generous gift if you can't afford it. So I think that just a genuine, heartfelt gift with a nice note will always be appreciated. This one is along the same vein of budget. So this person says, friends asked me to be in their wedding. I get to the tuxedo shop they registered us at, and it will cost me $200 to rent it. Is that normal? So there weren't too many comments on this one, but I actually thought that this was a great example of something to talk about. Because here's the deal. This person would, I'm sure, love to be in this wedding. However, they might not have the budget to pay $200 or more to rent an outfit for that day, basically. So I would suggest, if you are in this situation, let's say you're in a wedding or in some event where you are expected to pay, this person, for example, might say, you know, I would love to be in your wedding. However, $200 is not in my budget to rent a tuxedo. Do you mind if I use this place and try to find a more affordable place? Or do you mind if I use this suit that I already have and, you know, send them a picture? Ask them if they can work with you on this, because again, you do not want to go into debt to impress other people and to live up to other people's lifestyles. It just depends. If it's someone who's really close to you and you don't want to miss this opportunity to be in the wedding party, then try to make it work. But if it's not, and you are, you know, one of many bridesmaids or many groomsmen and you simply cannot afford to keep up, you sometimes have to say no, and that's my take on it. Okay, what do you think? I would love to know. And I would also love to know if you have had this experience of being in a wedding party where you couldn't afford the dress or the tuxedo. Wondering if anyone else has experienced this and how you handled it. I just got put on bed rest a couple of weeks ago due to preeclampsia. A group of women from my parents' church very kindly organized to cook dinner for my family several times a week since I can't take care of that right now. I am definitely very appreciative. On the appointed days, a different lady cooks and drops off the food at my husband's work. Sometimes he doesn't get their names and we don't know most of the people involved, so I'm leaning towards a group thank you note sent to the church instead of individual thank yous for every person that brings a meal. Would that be tacky? Also, the meal drop-off is supposed to happen for several more weeks. When would be a good time to send a thank you? Okay, so the top comment on this said, as a church lady myself who has participated in such things, I don't think that a group thank you card would be tacky at all. A thoughtful thank you message and a picture or two of the new baby would probably be more than enough. You could also call the church and ask that a thank you announcement be made during the service if they have announcement time. It's so nice that they're doing that for you. Okay, so I totally agree with her. When you have so many different people providing meals for you and you're not sure who it is necessarily, and it changes, and this is going to be going on for several weeks, they know that you're busy healing and you're busy with your family. I think that a group note to the church, a lot of churches have bulletins where you could put an announcement in there. You could do something like that. You could have it announced. But a group thank you would be great. The trouble is if you start to send individual ones, but you don't catch everybody who sent you a meal, you know, they might think, oh, why didn't I get a thank you letters? It gets complicated, you see. And I have been a part of things like this where I've done, you know, things for people as a part of a group, and I certainly don't expect an individual thank you back. I think just a group thank you would be perfect. Our old church made baby blankets for our baby, and several people were involved in this. I just sent a thank you letter directly to the church, and I think that that is good enough. What do you think? Do you think that they should send a group thank you, or try to find each individual person and send letters to them? It really depends. If it really is only 5 people doing this, you can definitely write individual letters. If it's much more, many more people that you don't know, a group thank you would suffice. This one is really interesting. Should I mention my coworker's wardrobe malfunction? So the woman writing this is a female in her 40s, and she's writing about her coworker who is a male in his early 60s. So she says, so my coworker has put on about 15 pounds due to his fondness for summer beer festivals. He accordingly went out and bought some rather generously sized and stretchy golf shorts, which he has been wearing without a belt. Unfortunately, they are a bit too generously sized, and he did not purchase longer golf shorts, so there is, shall we say, a rather panoramic view of his derriere. It's just the 2 of us, and I am personally not offended by this, but we do share an office space with other professionals, and clients drop in from time to time. I am not sure whether I should say something to him. I know that he would sooner die than making a comment on my unfortunate sartorial choices, but I also don't wear things that intentionally or unintentionally give a view of the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, what do you think about this one? The comments were quite funny. Someone wrote, my only advice is that if you decide to say something, pretend like it's a first-time reaction. Oh my goodness, when you just bent over, I saw more than I was expecting. Okay, so some people like that. Then somebody wrote, I think I like this too, provided you are close enough to this person. Before we get into this post, I just need to reiterate how important it is to check your appearance from the behind, whether you are a male or a female, and I'm talking every single day. In Lessons from Madame Chic, I wrote the story about the woman I saw who had a hole in the back of her trousers. She looked fantastic from the front. She did not know that she had this, and she's walking around, and how embarrassing, right? So it is so important to check yourself from behind every day, whether you are a man or a woman, because you never know what's going on back there. I've also seen other people with, their tags sticking out, or bra strap tags showing, just things that I'm sure they wouldn't want to be showing. They just don't know about it, right? So this gentleman could definitely benefit from looking behind him, or noticing how, I just don't understand how people don't notice when the pants go a bit too far down. How do they not notice this? But some people don't. So that's my side note there to prevent this from happening. I think it depends on their relationship. If this is a comfortable relationship, she might say, oh, I noticed that, oh gosh. It's so funny because I'm putting myself in her shoes and I'm saying this, and no matter how you say it, it's going to be awkward. It is so tricky, especially in this world of, in the Me Too movement, for example. Like, a man now could not say that to a woman, I feel like, without trouble happening. So is it appropriate to say it the other way around? I think if it's affecting business and clients are seeing this, that something needs to be tactfully said. So what do you think? What would you do in this situation? I think definitely not making too much of a deal of it as if you've been keeping this in for weeks, but just saying, oh, I just noticed that, your trousers need to be adjusted, or something like that. I think that you could say that, and hopefully that would solve the problem. I don't know. What do you think about this? Okay, next one. Oh my gosh, this one I dealt with so much when in my early 20s and when I was at college. Okay, ready for this one? Taking someone else's laundry out of the dryer. My apartment complex has 4 shared dryers. Today, 2 were broken and 2 were occupied. After my laundry finished getting washed, I waited an hour before finally moving their laundry into the single bin that I assume was theirs. Usually I just wait, and more often than not, people are better about emptying the dryers. However, I have seen people accidentally leave stuff in the dryer for 24 hours. If I had the time and energy to be the nicest person ever, I would have waited forever, I only waited an hour, emptied their laundry and folded it nicely into their basket, I threw it in their basket, and left a note explaining that the other dryers were broken and that I was pressed for time. I did not leave a note. How should I handle these situations in the future? And there were a bunch of comments on this thread, and all of them said, no, you don't have to fold the clothes. Some people said I would find it creepy if my clothes were folded. And so here's my personal experience with this, because when I was in college, I was using laundromats, and In all of the apartments I lived in my early 20s, I used laundromats as well, or shared washer dryer space. So I've actually had this happen to me. I was petrified about other people touching my laundry, so I would put a timer on, and when the dryer was finished, I would go immediately to try to take out my clothes. There were several times where I had to do my laundry, but somebody had left their clothes either in the washer or the dryer, and it was just holding everybody up. So both times what I would do is just take the clothes out and just pile it on top of the dryer or on the shelf and just put my clothes in. I was always nervous to do that because nobody wants anyone touching their dirty laundry, right? But that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, if somebody drops the ball and they don't pick up their clothes, the whole complex can't wait for them to finish. I agree that you also should not fold your clothes. One time I did not get to my dried clothes fast enough, and somebody had folded my clothes, including my undergarments, and I was mortified. So here I am thinking, one of my neighbors has literally touched my underwear. Not okay, just creepy and wrong and not good. Okay, so this person wrote, I think I would be creeped out if somebody folded my laundry. To me, waiting 10 to 15 minutes is completely acceptable. Someone else wrote, this is a great point. Folding is more intimate than just removing laundry to an acceptable place. Another person wrote, I think you're 100% fine emptying the dryer very soon after it's done. Maybe give them 5 minutes as long as you're putting their laundry in a basket or on top of the dryer. If people don't want other people touching their laundry, they need to stay on top of it. They can bottleneck the laundry room by leaving their stuff for hours. Another person wrote, do not fold their clothes. That's too personal. Just put their clothes in a basket if there is one, or on a table or another dryer. And another person wrote, I agree with the other comments, and I will also say that I don't think leaving a note is needed in this situation. It's clear why you would have taken someone's dry clothes out of the dryer. So I completely agree with all of them. Don't fold the clothes. You don't need a note. Just gently put them on top of the dryer or on the shelf or in a basket provided, and hopefully next time they will stay on top of their laundry. So what do you think, and has this happened to you? What happened? Let us know in the comments below. Okay, next. Do I need to take earbuds out when talking to someone? She writes, I'm out running or walking my dog and come across people where we just greet each other and pass. Sometimes, though, we both stop and chat for a little bit. I see them coming, so I'll usually pause my MP3 player but keep my headphones in. I'm conversing fine, and if it ends up being a long convo, I might remember to take them out. But for the most part, I leave them in. Is this considered rude even if nothing is playing? There were a lot of comments, and most people said, yes, you do need to take your earbuds out, and I would agree with that. Unless you're just passing and it's literally, hi, how are you? I'm fine, that type of thing, you can keep them in. But if you stop to talk to somebody, you have got to take them out, even if nothing's playing, because it just shows them that you are listening to them and you are paying attention to them. And I think most people agreed with that. Okay, next one. Is this normal social behavior? So this woman writes, my mother-in-law leaves compliments from my other sister-in-law on practically every post she does on social media, I'm assuming. And they are not general compliments, but over-the-top ones. Here are a few examples. Super mom for taking the kids grocery shopping. You are an amazing mom for letting her kid bake something with her friend. You are such a good mom for taking kids to the zoo. Not only was it amazing to look at, it was delicious. Mom win, way to go for baking a birthday cake. Best mom ever for sewing with her kids. It looks like fun. You are superwoman to do all of it, for doing several activities during spring break. There are plenty more, but you get the idea. She never says anything like this to me, not that I really want her to, but it makes me feel like I'm not a good mom. I too have kids and post things. And my only other sister-in-law on that side of the family isn't on Facebook anymore, so I have nothing to compare this to. But to me, it just seems over the top. I don't get it. Is it weird, or am I just being overly sensitive? So here is what the community said. One of the top voted comments said, sounds like she's got a favorite and it's not you. I'm so sorry, people can be so rude sometimes. Someone else wrote, I'm assuming you do similar sorts of things with your kids, in which case, yeah, it's weird. I'm wondering if there's a reason that your mother-in-law thinks that your sister-in-law needs this type of encouragement. Maybe she's insecure about her parenting, or perhaps maybe they have had a serious conflict in the past and this is your mother-in-law's way of going towards a better relationship. That's true. Before everybody jumps on top of this situation thinking, oh, you know, the mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, you know, you never know what has happened. Maybe the sister-in-law is insecure about her parenting and the mother-in-law is just trying to show support. You just never know. If you really want to know why she treats you differently, try asking her. You could say, I see your responses to my sister-in-law on social media. I feel like you respond to her posts differently than you do mine. Is there a reason why? You know, I'm really impressed with Reddit. I love the answers from the people and what they have to say. And I would agree with that. I would agree, rather than just stewing over this and just taking offense and assuming that the mother-in-law hates you and that, you know, the sister-in-law is the golden one. You know, you could bring it to the mother-in-law and ask why, if you have that sort of relationship with her. Or, you know, you could just choose to not get upset by it. This is why I really don't like social media, for these reasons. I don't. I use it for work, but for personal reasons, there are so many minefields and it can cause so much offense to people with things like that. And I personally have seen all sorts of things and fallouts and everything from social media. So that's why, I mean, that type of thing would put me off from posting at all. One other person said, I get it. This is deliberate, super passive aggressive criticism, praising the sister-in-law and leaving you out. They say, drop the rope and ignore this. Don't even mention it in case he tells her to your husband. Don't give her the satisfaction of any kind of response. You are not weird. This is very hurtful. I've known other women who do this too. And then another person said, your sister-in-law could have been crying to your mother-in-law about being a terrible parent, and now she feels that she's lacking, something of that sort. So there's all sorts of responses to this. Basically, don't get upset about it and don't jump to conclusions would be my advice. And if it's really bothering you, bring it up. And if not, just move on. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to remove yourself from caring about things like that, unfortunately. Okay, and the last one is a shared office workspace one. These are always good. So it says, I work in a small office, 7 staff members. We share a coffee maker. Every time, really, I make a cup of coffee, there is a spent K-cup in the maker. It annoys me that others don't remove their spent K-cup. I have been removing and discarding them for years while asking others to please take care of their own trash. How can I nicely make my wishes known to others in a stronger fashion? So this is just one of those shared workspace aggravations. So I think that you could write a tiny note and tape it to the lid of the K-cup, you know, the part where you open it. Maybe something tiny saying, please discard your used K-cup. Thank you. Just something polite, no exclamation points or anything like that. I think that that would solve the problem. What do you think? And do you have any shared workspace horror stories that you would like to leave below? I hope that you enjoyed this reaction to the subreddit etiquette section. Let me know if you would like to see more of these types of videos. For more etiquette content and content on living beautifully, please subscribe to my channel and be sure to share this with a friend and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for joining me today on the Daily Connoisseur, and I will see you next time. Bye!